Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the TeamSpeak Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open number 20. Here we are in the semifinals with a match between Hack in the 9 o'clock position, representing Team ZeNEXH as our blue Terran, versus his opponent in the 3 o'clock position. We have Spades as our red Terran. We are going to be on cross positions on Metalopolis. Now, if you guys have been enjoying these games, enjoying StarCraft 2, there's a lot more StarCraft 2 to come. Make sure you check out tomorrow. We got TL Attack going on at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Should be pretty amazingly fun. I believe, I actually got to check. I think it's with Naniwa. I need to double check that.
Thorazane, and Hothead.
Awesome. Oh
if
my
I'm
God.
not mistaken.
What a combination. What a combination. Now, it's going to be amazing, so make sure you guys check that out. Should be a lot of fun, but in the meantime, we will be going over this TVT here. I am Orb. With me is MrBitter, casting on behalf of TLNet.
And we're both happy to be here. But Orb, I gotta say, bro, I'm stoked to see Spades in this matchup. Spades is a buddy of mine. I was on VT with him, and then of course he moved on to Rain, which is the new I guess super team, which is being pushed by VTgaming.net. So best of luck to those guys. Spades is such a good player. He does not get enough credit. His macro is out of this world. He's probably the best. I'm gonna say it. He's the best macro Terran that there is outside of Korea. I mean, if anybody was watching his games against Lalush earlier today, he just straight up out macroed him.
Yeah, it was crazy.
LOL, I'm Terran and I maxed before you, Zerg. That's just what Spades does. He's incredible. So I'm really super excited to see how he plays against Hack. Hack has some history as well. He's won like 2 of the last 3 TL Opens, and he's not a player to be taken lightly. So I mean, Spades has got
FXO in the GSTL. He's definitely got a history.
Oh man, I didn't catch those games, but I did catch QXE all killing IM. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, good.
Random plug aside.
Man.
This is going to be a great game. These are 2 super strong players. Hack, I think, is one of the guys that likes to use kind of shenanigans and tomfoolery. Spades is one of those guys that just likes to sit back on solid, strong macro play. I don't know, what this game is going to show us, as both guys have gone for like similar gas, one racks gas openings. But it should be a really fun series to watch unfold.
Yeah, we see the factory already going down for Hack. Interestingly, no factory for Spades yet. There it is. Did actually wait a little while. He's already up to 30 extra gas there, so just a little bit late on that factory. Not too big of a deal, though. But from here, a lot of players do like to go for that, that early starport, get out that one early Banshee, not just to get some harassment, but also some good scouting. But a lot of players recently have been, favoring Blue Flame Banshee a lot in TVT. In fact, I was almost surprised to see Hack go for the Barracks first build. So many Korean Terrans have been going Refinery first in TVT just to get the Blue Flame Hellions out as soon as humanly possible. But, we'll have to see if these players go for that Blue Flame Hellion build or not right now. It has been so common. It looks like Hack's maybe not. He's going straight for the Command Center right after that first factory before even adding on a starport or any add-ons. And he is going to go straight for the starport.
It's interesting that you mentioned the Blue Flame Hellion style. The TVT's kind of been in flux a little bit lately as this new style has been surfacing of Blue Flame Hellions, Siege Tanks, and Vikings. Actually, I was talking to Poke Bunny the other day about it. He's just like, I don't know how to play against this unless I do the exact same thing. It's really good. The Hellions deal with Marines, the tanks deal with everything else, and then the Vikings make sure that nothing like Banshees come and ruin your day. So honestly, I kind of expect to see both these players move towards that kind of thing eventually, because I just see the highest level TVT becoming that.
Yeah. And we do see that both players are going to go for a Banshee first, so they will be just getting that nice bit of scouting information. Also, the way the Banshee works, you always are going to pretty much get yourself a guaranteed couple SCV kills, even if there are some reason in place. You can just use that kind of scoot and shoot micro, get yourself some SCV kills. So it's always a nice choice. A lot of players do. Well, actually, Spades is going to go for the Viking first. Now, this is a pretty smart move actually, because it will just deny that early Banshee from your opponent. Maybe he'll switch it off afterwards. I mean, he hasn't done anything with that factory this far besides make 1 Hellion. So it looks like he is... Nope, he's going to continue Hellion production. He's trying to fake me out. No, he canceled that Hellion. He's faking me out right now. I don't know what he's going for, but a nice scan from Hack is going to see the expansion timing from Spades.
I think he just wants the Viking out so that he can usher the Banshee away that he may or may not be expecting. But it's just like that sort of safety net thing. When you're playing Zerg, you might get an extra queen. When you're playing Protoss, you might get that early Observer. In this case, you get the early Viking so that you have that extra thing between you and the Banshee. We do see that Blue Flame has started for Spades, so he's going to move towards that kind of Blue Flame style. And oh, there's the Banshee. Wow, runs right into a couple Marines, taking a few hits before it can really get anything done. Cloak is not going to be an issue here, so this Banshee's not going to really get anything done.
Yeah, it's just going to get some good scouting information, kill off an SCV, a couple Marines. That's about it. Since Spades is, Viking was in position, he'll be fine. But as you said, Blue Flame actually started for both players now. And it's kind of comical when you watch Blue Flame versus Blue Flame because Hellions themselves, even though they're like these little car, bike hybrid things, they look like they might be like armored, like they're covered in metal, but they're actually light units. So Blue Flame Hellions have bonuses against themselves. To end up with these kind of funny Blue Flame versus Blue Flame battles where all the units just die like really, really fast.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to micro.
Yeah, I think TVT is extremely difficult to micro. It's a positional game. It's not one where you have these two armies fighting with each other. It's like, I'm going to get the better position and choke you out slowly. That's just sort of the nature of it. I just want to point out how close these guys' macro are. Until the depot of Hack finished, they were basically, right even with each other. Now it's 54 supply to 61 supply. Spades, I think, he hit a supply block here, and he was a little bit late on that depot, so I was trying to commend him on his macro, and then he slipped up on me, so thanks a lot, Spades.
We actually see Spades going for a mech style, so it looks like he is just going to go mass Blue Flame Hellion tank. He is going up to 3 factories, which is pretty standard off of 2 bases. Whereas we actually see Hack going for the older style, the just a little bit more standard style of infantry with tanks. Does have just 1 factory producing tanks right now, and 3 barracks now producing a ton of Marines, with Stim now on the way. So, I mean, it can be really difficult to pull off this style that Hack is going for versus the Blue Flame style. I think Spades' style right now is just going to give him a little bit of an advantage, but Hack is going to have that increased. Well, not necessarily increased mobility with his army, but increased ability to, I feel like, drop. Obviously, you can drop Blue Flame Hellions, but dropping your entire army on top of tanks and in your opponent's mineral line can be obviously very effective.
Oh, man, got a couple Blue Flame Hellions into the main here. They did run past, only kill a couple SCVs, but look at this, a Blue Flame Hellion drop coming from Hack, but he flew right past Spades' barracks. Spades does see it, and he gets units up into position, so he should be able to shut this drop down. Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he does. Both players lost exactly 3 SCVs, and so this is such a close, even game. And I mean, it's just going to keep kind of slowly inching forward as each player just tries to create advantages for themselves, and then keeps building up that big army. And soon we're going to see these siege tank numbers starting to be a real factor, and these guys are just going to start playing the chess match that is mid-game TVT.
Yeah, and I really like that Spades is going for a very quick third right now. RDS's command center on the way. Hack going for one as well, but his is just a little bit later. So both players pretty much have the same kind of idea right now. Spades is a little bit ahead of the curve. But I feel like, the way that it's kind of transitioning back into air dominance in TVT is a little bit funny. We actually see a reactor getting put down for Spades' starport now will probably just produce a ton of Vikings. Actually, engagement happening in the middle of the map, so hold that thought. Hellions forced to fall back from those Marauders, of course. But Hack has been producing a ridiculous number of Vikings. Already has 4 over here below his main, actually out of position, I guess, to just watch for drops on the way. But I feel like, that air control is going to give him a lot of help when we start getting these siege tank battles. Yeah,
it's going to be really important because Spades doesn't have anything that actually shoots up. So if Spades wants to be, if Spades wants to control the map, he's got to have air dominance, like you said, and he doesn't have that right now. He does have a really terrifying army, though, Siege Tank Hellion. If the armies were to fight, Hack would lose, but that's just not the nature of TVT. It's positional. We're not going to see a big A move anytime soon, in my opinion.
Yeah, I seriously doubt it. Now attack coming in from Hack, though, forced to fall back. Is taking a ton of damage from these Hellions, so he just lost pretty much all of his Marines. Just kept alive a couple of his Marauders. Medevac being targeted as well, and it looks like Spades is going to move forward and try to take this gold base. Now, I like this. I feel like whoever takes this kind of situation, takes this area first, is the person that can hold it, because you can just set up siege tanks on those Zanaga towers, and that's a great position to hold in the center of their map. So it's going to be a lot harder for Hack to come back and take the gold if he wants it, for example. He's probably going to be forced to take that top left base.
Man, I agree with you. I love Spades' decision to push out like that. Oh, look, we are going to have a big engagement here, and the tanks sieging up and all getting focused down for it. The Spades is just going to attack move through Hack.
Oh my
here.
god.
This is
oh
exactly
my god, that was
what
beautiful.
I did not expect to see happen.
You know, that whole fight. Oh my god, now the Vikings coming in from Hack though from the back, and now Spades is going to lose his whole army, unfortunately. You know, at first I was thinking, oh my god, what is Spades doing? He's not sieging, but that ended up working out so well for him, just target firing down the sieging tanks of Hack. But that being said, just because, you know, Hack has so many Vikings, he was able to lift the, you know, land those down and kill off the rest of Spades' tanks. So he does have a couple tanks ready here to defend
doesn't have
the goal.
siege mode.
Oh my god, are you serious? Oh my god, wow. That has got to be a mistake. There's, I mean, there's no reason you would not get it at this point in the game.
Huge mistake.
That is so unfortunate.
Huge mistake. Without siege mode, he can't mine from this gold base. Oh my gosh! Siege tank on the ZeNEXHack tower getting a bunch of SCV kills. Wow, man, Spades. I was singing your praises when this game started, but you're playing so sloppy, man. His macros slipping. He's missing important upgrades. And, you know, while I really like his build and I like the way that he's boldly taking this gold base, he's making too many mistakes. It's just, you know, that's the long and the short of it.
Yeah, sorry, that's kind of what Korean players do. I mean, they have such good control and such good multitasking that they're everywhere at once, and they kind of, you know, if you're a little bit slower of a player, it can force mistakes. So that's really the advantage of, you know, the way that Hack has been playing this game. And yeah, as you said, I mean, for him to miss that upgrade is just, it's awful. You really can't play this. You can't play TVT without siege mode. It's not really an option. And now, of course, yeah. This is the way TVT's been. I mean, it was in the past like this, and now it's actually been kind of transitioning back into this, where you just have this air dominance, and then all of a sudden you can transition into a couple Banshees, and as long as you have more Vikings than your opponent, and they don't have a lot of Marines, there's not really anything they can do about that Banshee.
Yeah. So, man, this one siege tank from Hack is just going to be a hero. It's basically saying, no Spades, you cannot mine from this base. I think finally it'll be dealt with.
Yeah.
Yep, there it goes. But the air dominance is still such a big deal. With all these Vikings, Spades can't really, like, there's just not much he can do. He can't really advance his position. And I don't know that you really get air dominance back. There's 11 Vikings out for Hack and none for Spades. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, you'd have to drop like 2 more starports and have like 3 starports with reactors just pumping Vikings, and it's a pretty big investment. It's a pretty hard thing to do and pull off and not die in the meantime. And as we've seen, since Spades keeps getting his SCVs picked off, Hack has a great advantage economically right now. He has actually 80 SCVs to the 70 of Spades right now. That being said, Spades does have the gold, so that's pretty much what's keeping him in the space. But the continued harass from this Banshee, the tanks sieging up at the ZeNEXHack, and these Vikings is just putting Spades behind. That being said, he's going for a counterattack at the third. Hack doesn't have anything in position. His whole army's out of place. Oh my god, these Blue Flame Hellions are killing everything. So many SCVs going down. The tank goes down. Hack is in a lot of trouble from this counterattack.
Yeah, huge counter here. And, I mean, in Spades was kind of falling behind, but I think this is going to help equalize things a little bit. It's still hard to say, though. He's losing his whole army, and he's not able to mine from his third. This is the time that he needs to advance this position in the middle of the map, though, to kind of secure the third base while Hack's army's out of position, but Spades is still sitting back. He needs to really be on the spot with getting this tank dealt with. He's got to mine from this gold. He has to secure this third.
Yeah, he really should have moved those tanks forward while he was doing that attack after he got the Banshees and Vikings to leave. But, I mean, that was a good move to try to get back into this game, but he didn't take out the command center. A lot of the SCVs were still saved, so he's actually only barely ahead on the harvester count right now, and of course, you know, almost unable to mine at all from this third. And his tank count got dwindled a lot from that attack. I mean, granted, he did some damage, but he lost so many of his siege tanks. He still has a lot left at the third, but, I mean, it would have been like double that number if he hadn't lost so many of them in that counterattack. Now he's losing a lot of his Blue Flame Hellions, trying to run them in, suicide them to try to get some SCV kills. Oh my god, so many SCVs going down, but I don't know if it'll be enough.
There's some nice control there by Hack, managing to kind of minimize those losses. He is at a bit of an SCV disadvantage. Oh, good shot going off there. 57 SCVs, 55 SCVs now to the 77 of Spades, but basically Spades has 77 SCVs in his natural.
Oh my gosh.
He's not able to mine from this gold. He doesn't have any real map control.
And look at what Hack has done. He's immediately double expanded. He has the gold and that the 12 o'clock natural up and running now. That's ridiculous. Spades is essentially playing like 2.5 bases right now against 4. So he's in a lot of trouble, even though he is ahead on that SCV count. As you said, they're not really doing much, just sitting around in the natural. He's going to try to take a 4th of his own at the bottom right.
Oh my gosh, and Hack is a battle cruiser.
I mean, why not, right? Like, you've already gotten yourself the air dominance with all those Vikings. Now he's going to come in for a drop into the game, moving forward with that upper ground vision to be able to target down these starports as well. So Spades has been trying to get the air control back, with massive Viking production, but it's not enough. Not only does Hack have +1 on his Vikings, but, he also just has so many more than Spades can possibly make, and the fact that he's losing these starports is going to prevent him from, making any more in the future. Spades is losing all of his production. Looks like he's going to go for one final counterattack. This is pretty much all in. With his whole army there, as he's losing all of his production in the meantime.
See, the problem here, though, is Spades doesn't have anything that shoots up. Even if he kills everything that Hack has, Hack can just lift one barracks, and there's nothing Spades can do about it. Spades can't kill the battlecruiser. I mean, literally, that one battlecruiser can kill everything. So there's no answer for Spades here. Hack has won this game. This is checkmate.
Pretty much, yeah. Spades is just trying to play it out. I mean, I guess he just doesn't realize that he's lost yet, or he's desperately trying to cling on, to the hope. Or, some players actually like to try to stay in a game a little bit longer for, the mind games, like, also wearing out your opponent. They sit in a game longer, trying to do everything. Then they'll be a little bit more worn out in the next game, but that's really the only reason I can come up with right now for Spades staying in the game, and there's the GG. So Hack is going to take game 1.
Man, that was kind of a wild game. I want to say this. I think Spades chose the better build. I think the Hellion tank style is the stronger build if you can maintain air dominance, as you said. He chose the better build, in my opinion, but he did not execute the build better than his opponent. And because of that, Hack was able to take that air dominance and just basically punish Spades for building an army that comprised of things that can only deal with ground units.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think the mech build, now I'm not like some Terran player expert or anything. I don't even, play Terran except when I'm off racing, but I think from what I've seen in a lot of the Korean games that I've been watching, when players actually do go for that mech style, I think it relies on also having a starport with a reactor constantly producing Vikings. Make sure you don't fall behind on the air dominance. That, or I've seen some players try to work in Thors into their build, although that's a little bit more iffy, but it is nice to just do some splash damage to those stacked up Vikings. But Spades went purely for the ground until, really late, until he was already getting his 3rd. He wasn't producing any Vikings that game, so, just really nicely played by Hack. He knew that Spades was going for mechs, so he decided to counter it by just going for, that huge air dominance and not even that much of, a ground army.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you have to take your hats off to Hack. He did everything right. He punished Spades for I guess not having enough Vikings, basically, and he just controlled that game through and through. Another thing that I really liked in Spades' play was the way that he aggressively went for that gold base. But if as bold as that move was, it might have been the wrong move, because he was never able to mine from that gold base. He had a big SCV lead, but he was never able to use it because those guys were just basically repairing the planetary for half the game.
Yeah, I think the only way you can actually take that gold, the problem there was that he didn't have the siege tech. I think that was like the number one problem that caused him to lose the gold, because he had that position and he got the first. What he could have done was just set up siege tanks on, the ZeNEXHack towers, set up some turrets there to help deal with those banshees. And I think he would have been fine, but the fact that he didn't have siege tech meant that he couldn't go hold those ZeNEXHack towers. So Hack was able to just hold them with siege tanks of his own, and I feel like that's what helped, just cause that, disadvantage.
Even a Thor would have tipped the balance a little bit there. It would have allowed him to just kind of say, get out from over my base, But anyway, it is what it is. Spades making a couple missteps there, and it basically cost him the game. Hack goes up 1-0. We'll be back in just a minute, guys, with game number 2.